a very interesting show today. I know the children going back to school. I know everybody wants the unvaccinated to be vaccinated, even to the point where individuals that may be going through divorce court is fighting over who has the right to have the say so and whether or not the child should be vaccinated. We're going to talk about the physical abuse of women, especially this African American young lady, by a white Chicago police officer. But y'all know how I feel about that. I don't think any woman should be abused by any man, regardless of their race, religion, especially African American women, regardless if the person that's physically abusing her or mentally abusing her by bullying her, threatening her, or intimidating her, or harassing her. Even if he's a mayor who happens to be African American of the city of Calumet City within the state of Illinois. And the woman that he's bullying is an elected official. And she's the clerk of Calumet City. We're going to get into that. We're going to talk about it. And we're going to talk about protecting the children's information, especially when it's a child that's been abused by someone. So, as you know, the articles that I'm bringing out or the issues that I'm talking about was put together by none other than the director and the producer of the Bradley Report, none other than the chairman of United Peace Inc., my wife, Terry Marsh Bradley. So with that, let me say to God be the glory. Let's get on with this story. Brother Omari, let's go to work. If you pick up that gun and you fire that gun, you know, so much violence that's happening in this town that everyone has been coming to me and asking me how I feel because they hear me on my show. And I constantly show the same opening. I've been doing it for a year about senseless shootings and killings and senseless violence and the code that we all need to support. I got the support of the county board president and the state's attorney. And the code is this: zero tolerance for senseless violence, shootings, and killings. Zero tolerance for the abuse of women and children. The rape and the abuse of women and children. Zero tolerance for the abuse, the robbery, and the disrespect of elders. Past weekend, it says there's been over 45 shootings. than 4 homicides just this past weekend. There's been some children that's been shot. There's been a lot of shooting. So we're going to try to get this back up for you again. If I get over this technical, it's not a difficulty. It's so I can know how to do it. And hopefully, well, not going to come up, but y'all know how my openings are. But let me tell you one of the stories I was talking about earlier. This woman was on the beach walking her dog. And it was time for everyone to get out the beach, get off the beach, or get out the park. Certain areas of the city, you got to be out by 10 o'clock. Some areas, you got to be out by 11 o'clock. And they say 2 wrongs don't make a right. What do you mean by that, Gabe? If you know, especially after the match, if you know you're supposed to be out the park and the beach at 11 o'clock, try to be out there by 10:30 to avoid any kind of misunderstanding. And the other wrong is the police officer didn't have to put his hands and grab that woman and attack that woman. That was assault. Just to ask her to get out the park, and from what everyone saw on the video, I'm glad whoever took the video, whether it was the brothers in the trucks out there, I don't know, from what I saw, the video, they were shocked when they heard the woman screaming. She's screaming for help. And when they see her screaming for help, from what I got from the video that was all over social media, she's screaming for help. Then when the people see who she's screaming for help from, it's the police officer. The man grabbed and mishandled. The poor little dog was trying to bite him on his leg. Like, what are you doing? To my owner, what are you doing? I'm glad that the mayor is very upset about it. I see where Copeland immediately investigated the physical encounter between a white CPD, Chicago Police Department officer, a black woman that was captured on viral video. Okay? And the thing about it is she was walking out of the park and he was trying to go like he herding some sheep, cows or something. Lawyers for a black woman who could be seen in the video being restrained by a white Chicago police officer as she walked her dog at North Avenue Beach called the physical altercation an obvious case of racial profiling, because it was white people out there in the park. That might be why she felt that she could be out there in the park. And she got a right to be anywhere that she want to be, but they got rules and regulations up under the guidelines of public safety. They don't want you to get mugged in the park. But then she ended up getting mugged by a police officer. She ended up getting assaulted by a police officer in uniform. I can't wait to see that video that he had on his chest. But it looked like he might have knocked it off and tried to put it back on. Don't know. But everyone saw it. The mayor saw it. The superintendent saw it. He need to be charged. Had that been her boyfriend out there tussling with him, he would have got charged. Had it been anyone walking through that park and was attacking her, they would have been charged. I see where COPA has recommended that the superintendent put that man on desk duty. There's people that have the same opinion I got. He shouldn't be allowed to have a weapon because it seems like he got an attitude problem. You don't need someone that got an anger management problem to have weapons. Too much violence in the city of Chicago. I'm glad the mayor let it be known that she was very upset. I'm glad COPA came instantly and said, hey, that guy got to be on desk duty. There's a lot of people in the city and across the country that feel that he need to be charged with some type of crime. But hey, what can I say? She has a right to demand the charges be placed against her because he put his hands on her. That's why there's zero tolerance. The code for everyone in the city. The abuse, whether it's physical, mental, verbal abuse of women and children shouldn't be tolerated. That's why you heard me on my show talk about what the mayor in Calumet City, elected official. He's a mayor and a state representative. We're talking about Thaddeus Jones. He keep harassing her, even to this day. Sending out texts and to people in the residents of his district as well as the residents of the city of Calumet. Lying on the woman, bullying her. Even lied and said that she got 2 PPP loans illegally so that she can hire me. And he put in there Wallace Gator Bradley, the gang leader. That's defaming my character. And I'm sure defaming her character. Especially if she didn't engage in no fraudulent activity to get those PPP loans. And one thing for sure, she didn't get them loans to pay me. But let me tell you this. I got a right as an urban translator and as a political consultant. And like I've said publicly, Thaddeus Jones, he can't pay me. But I will extend my services to her. We got to stop this violence. Whether you're black, white, Hispanic, Asian, if you're a man, don't abuse a woman or a child. So COPA, the Civilian Office of Police Accountability, it is right here. I hope we can get this. We're trying to bring it out. Little sister wouldn't bother nobody. Look how big that officer is. Hope we can pull this up so my viewing audience can see it. Anyway, they have recommended that officer be put on desk duty. That officer be put on desk duty. They haven't said his name, but the young lady is Nikita Brown. It says, the Civilian Office of Police Accountability, which probes allegations of misconduct by police on Sunday opened an investigation into the incident captured on a viral video, which has been viewed more than 750,000 times. It might be 1,000,000 times by the time the show is over. Across several social media platforms. I shared it like others. Only way it's gonna stop, especially against African Americans, is that we share the information for people to see it. Culturally, we used to beat the drums to get the message out. Now it's about telephone, Telegram, which is Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok, or tell a Negro. Be it in the barbershop, be it in the beauty salon, be it at the lines that you got to wait to get your meals, be it while you're getting a pedicure or manicure. Tell somebody so everybody can demand that the superintendent do what the Civilian Office of Police Accountability is doing. And it's getting so wild. From what I've been reading, people are asking if he was vaccinated. Because they know the mayor wants all employees working for the city of Chicago to get vaccinated. And I'm glad she made that decision. As a leader, she got to be about public safety and the public health and well-being of the residents of the city of Chicago, whether they voted for or not. The governor is coming to that same conclusion. County board president come to that same conclusion. First responders, in my opinion, especially nurses and doctors in the hospitals, they need to be vaccinated. I've been vaccinated. My family has been vaccinated. And I still wear the mask. And while we on the vaccination, do you know that is so deep that vaccinations are driving a wedge between some divorced parents? Yeah. There's a fight going on in a lot of divorce courts where the husband and the wife are arguing over who has the right to say that the child should be vaccinated. I can understand that. They seeing how children are being in the ICUs now, and some parents can't get in there to see them, as well as family members weren't able to get into the nursing homes to see their loved ones or their loved ones that were residents of the nursing homes. They got infected because of the COVID, because some nursing homes made it mandatory that infected individuals who worked for the nursing homes had to go to work regardless if the employee told their supervisor that they were infected with the COVID virus. Been a lot of stories about that, not just in Illinois. One of the main cases that Solver Nursing Home and Rehabilitation Center that's in Westchester. Now they didn't change the name, but because there's a lot of suits in courts, it don't change their game. That's why I'll be asking the governor if he would ask or order his appointed director of the Illinois Department of Health to immediately implement the Nursing Home Care Act, Section 8, against the nursing homes that aren't in compliance. And I'm saying that strongly. And I'm hoping that he do it because he's doing a lot of things. And I feel he's going to have to come to that because you can't have nursing homes not compliant with the law of Illinois. Illinois Nursing Home Care Act is a law. And it's so powerful because it keeps bad nursing homes in check to do the right thing. What do you mean about that, Gator? When you see the president make an announcement that if nursing home employees are not vaccinated, the CDC is going to implement something where they will not be able to get the monies from Medicare. And I'm just paraphrasing the law. But that's what he laying down. Now, if the president can do that, then all the governors have a responsibility to do the same thing for the well-being of their residents. If we see how dangerous this virus is to the point that we mandate that teachers got to have their masks on and got to be vaccinated, police and firemen have to be vaccinated. You got some companies that's telling their employees that they got to be vaccinated. If you feel all them things got to be in place, why not implement the Nursing Home Care Act, Section 8, especially against those nursing homes that y'all know aren't in compliance? Only reason I know is because I know y'all know. Just Google it. A judge in Cook County Court, in what many say is the first ruling of its kind, a divorced Pilsen mother has had her child visitation revoked by a Cook County judge because she is not vaccinated against COVID-19. We're going to go further because within the last 6 or 8 hours, he has rescinded that decision. On August 10th, Cook County Judge Jane Shapiro barred Rebecca Furlitt, I hope that's her name, I hope I'm pronouncing her name correctly, the mother of an 11-year-old boy, from seeing her son. Okay? Furlitt's attorney, Annette Fernhaus, said her client and the ex-husband has been divorced for 7 years and they're sharing custody of the 11-year-old. Fernhaus said the issue was not raised by her ex-husband. Rather, the judge asked Fernliff if she was vaccinated during a child support hearing via Zoom. And when she said no, the judge stripped her of all parenting time with her son until she gets vaccinated. These are times that we're living in. You can call it the new norm, but this virus is serious. so much pressure was on the judge that he rescinded his order. Let me read that to you. This was just brought to my attention. 1 minute here. There's a story in the Chicago Tribune. Cook County judge rescinds order stripping unvaccinated woman of child custody rights. A Cook County judge who took away a woman's child custody rights because she hasn't been vaccinated against COVID-19 rescinded that order Monday, today, meaning the woman will again be able to see her 11-year-old son, her lawyer said. Rebecca Furlitt and her ex-husband were in a child support hearing August 10th when Judge James Shapiro asked if she had been vaccinated. Okay, and like I told you, when the mother said she had not, she has reacted badly to other vaccines and is under medical orders not to receive the shot. See, everybody can't take the shot. Okay? Because they get adverse reactions. But a lot of people that don't have a doctor's order not to take the shot, if you're going through a divorce and you're not vaccinated, and if it's a bad divorce and y'all fighting over child custody, this story right here shows you that you're opening yourself up because you're not vaccinated to be penalized in a court of law. They gonna wrestle with it, take it to the appellate court, to the Supreme Court, to the federal court, federal appeal court, United States Supreme Court. But it's the decision in the lower court that you're fighting over to see if it's going to stand. Shapiro suspended her parenting time until she demonstrates sufficient proof to this court of vaccination against COVID-19, according to courtroom documents. Chicago Fox News program ran a story on the order over the weekend, and on Monday, Shapiro rescinded it. Though Fanhaus said she wasn't sure that would be the end of the matter. That's what I just told you. Yeah, he rescinded it, but he ain't sure that would be the end of the matter. Okay, I'm gonna have to wrap it up. I just want to let you know, before I wrap this up, let me get off the story. Let me say this. Kim Foxx rescinded herself and the state's attorney's office today because a former state's attorney who is now a judge, Kim Foxx asked for a special prosecutor to take over cases involving alleged misconduct by a former detective who was married to a Cook County judge. Cook County prosecutors will no longer handle 8 cases involving alleged misconduct by this former detective who was married to a sitting Cook County judge. State's Attorney Kim Foxx's office asked that a special prosecutor be appointed to replace them on these cases. Their request came after a criminal division top judge made the surprise decision earlier this year that the cases should be heard by a judge outside of Cook County to avoid the appearance of impropriety. Okay? The upheaval around the 8 cases, most of which are in various stages of post-conviction proceedings. Those individuals that was wrongly convicted because of the misconduct of this officer highlights the extraordinary close-knit nature of Cook County criminal courts and has left attorneys for the detective accusers with little clarity on what might come next. And I know what they're talking about. In the Joel Reed case, where the governor had to give this man a pardon, is because the judge was a former assistant state's attorney, and the special prosecutor in the case was a former assistant state's attorney up under the regime of Daley and Devine and Anita Alvarez. That evil cabal, decades. They made a decision that Joel Reed, who a judge had gave an order and vacated 2 murder convictions because of tortured confession to the point that they broke a pin that was in his knee or leg. Okay? They tortured that man that bad. The judge came in and took the case. And the judge's order should have been obeyed, where all he had to do was give Joel Reed the date for a hearing. They violated that. They sent that man back to the penitentiary for 2 more years, and it made it where he ended up being in the penitentiary for 30 years. Governor J.B. Pritzker, I'm going to say hooray, 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 granted that man a pardon and gave him the right time to serve, but he did not have to plead guilty to a crime that he didn't commit, and he's able to fight it. That's how evil that misconduct and police torture was happening with the cover-ups. To this day, Kim Foxx, I applaud you for making that decision. And I got to wrap it up, but I want y'all to understand this. We're in a new world order. And please get vaccinated if you can. If you can't, get your orders. You have to carry your orders from a doctor's orders telling you why you can't be vaccinated so that you don't get penalized. You hear what's happening in the court. You heard where the woman says, attorney said, even though the judge rescinded, it's not over. So with that, without further ado, this Gator, the urban translator, the host of the Bradley Report, and the president of United Peace, Inc. I want to say, to God be the glory. Get vaccinated, wear your mask, and let us all take a moment to pray for those who are infected with this virus that's in the hospital, that's in the ICUs, and the ICUs are filling up all across the country. You're seeing it on the news, you're hearing it on the news. Okay? With that, I want to say, to God be the glory. That's my story. Stay covered up, and most important, stay prayed up. To God be the glory.